If you've ever played single-player Minecraft, you must have felt at one point things were a little off, as it seems surprisingly quiet while you're in the middle of the forest with leaves, grass, bees and animals roaming around you peacefully, but for one moment everything feels absent, almost like you're in a vacuum. You break some dirt blocks and catch a glimpse of a name tag, only to realize it's just dirt particles. As paranoia begins to settle in, you take a step and suddenly you freeze as you hear something walk behind you. Expecting a creeper, you turn around and yet there's nothing. But you know the stories of HEROBRINE and other characters are just fake rumors and myths. Then you take a second to think, what if those myths and legends are true? Suddenly you hear something creeping up behind you again. Your heart skips a beat as you pull out a sword just to see nothing behind you. It's not a secret that Minecraft is a very terrifying game at times. That is also a good thing to a certain extent. But what I'm about to show you in this video clearly passes that line. Since the beginning of the game, Minecraft has always been very eerie. As you walked through your world, you might have begun to think that you're being watched through that thick fog surrounding the distance. With this eerie feeling, folklore followed, as the rise of HEROBRINE began, with multiple people having speculations of seeing a Steve-like figure with bright glowing eyes. Since 2010, people still believe that HEROBRINE is lurking in their world. Heck, I'm getting goosebumps writing this script. But there have also been many other speculations such as Entity 303, which doesn't really fool anyone as much as HEROBRINE did and still continues to do. What I personally find as the scariest part of Minecraft is that the don't stare at the moon theory. If you ever get the chance to go up somewhere high in your Minecraft world at night, stare at the moon for a while. It will give you this weird and terrifying feeling of uneasiness, as if it's something you're not supposed to be doing. Up until now, I've been extremely vague about what exactly is wrong with the game, so I'll get to the point before my retention drops like a rock. And speaking of that, did you know according to my statistic, only 1% of you all currently watching will end up subscribing to my channel? So be sure to join the elite group of individuals of the Raise Army. But that's enough stalling, time to get serious. The ultimate problem to me is the ambience. For those who don't know, ambience is the atmosphere of a place. For example, birds chirping, winds blowing and leaves rustling. Ambient sounds are one of the most important aspects of life, and without it you'd quickly go insane, with internal bodily functions being deafeningly loud. And no, this is not necessarily the same as music. As you might say, atmospheric music genres count, but those sounds aren't something that you're meant to actively listen to or be pleased by. They're just considered as white noise. But it's the total opposite when you load into a Minecraft world. There's almost no ambience, besides the occasional chicken clucking and the cow mooing. This makes the Minecraft overworld feel lifeless and dull, creating a scary environment. But a place where the ambience is perfect is the Nether. Throughout the Nether, you hear terrifying screeches of Endermen every now and then soul sand valleys are absolutely desolate, but in the best way. You can practically feel the bone-dry winds coursing through the air every now and then you hear the faint cries from the long-lost souls. Considering how often the ghasts spawn here, they also add a lot to this biome. The basalt delta is probably my favorite by far though. With all the volcanic ash blowing past, you can listen to what sounds like a chirp of a Geiger cannon, and the sound of distant explosions and cave collapses. These sounds make you feel like you should immediately leave this dimension. Even though the Nether is utterly terrifying, yet you feel so immersed in the biome. But I'll also mention the end is a bit of an exception to the rule we created for the other dimensions. It's meant to feel completely empty and void, yet the 15-minute C418 track that plays while I'm there somehow makes a literal representation of nothing feel more immersive than the overworld. I'm guessing by this point you probably understand what I'm trying to say. The place you spend the most of your time feels utterly desolate, but the place that was designed to spend the least of your time is the most immersive. The second theory I've seen while scrolling on Minecraft forums was people hearing footsteps and mining sounds whilst in single player and on peaceful mode. And it wasn't just one encounter. There have been hundreds, if not thousands, of reported cases of people hearing sounds in single player. Here are a few clips of people hearing sounds. And this is not the only issue that crosses the line. There has also been another speculation of the white enderman. This enderman looks the same as the normal one, but is white with green eyes. Some people have also seen the white enderman with blue eyes. Here is a lore from an encounter. I had just started playing Minecraft because I was bored of talking and playing Fortnite with my friends. I have a single player survival world, and inside of that world I had a mansion that was somewhat close to 50 by 50 blocks. I also had a dog named Lucas inside the mansion. I had a few eyes of ender, so I decided to start an adventure and brought along the standard diamond armor, diamond sword, and one bow with one stack of arrows. Of course, I also brought some food. I intended to find a stronghold. After searching for about an hour, I finally found one. But when I fell into a room, I heard an enderman die. I thought this must have been an enderman falling into a pool of lava near the end portal. I followed the sound to the end portal, but when I walked into the hallway, I saw a few endermen, but one One stood out from the others. Its skin color was inverted. It had blinding white skin and green eyes, and green particles around it. I started getting chased by the white enderman. I then turned around and he was still chasing me. I finally found my digging hole from where I originally entered the stronghold. I went up as fast as I could using wooden planks until I reached the surface. I kept on running away from the white enderman and went all the way to my mansion. The door opened by itself, and inside of the mansion there was a lot of TNT. Of course it exploded and I almost died. Then I saw a normal enderman walk up to me. I felt somewhat relieved, but then it started glitching and transformed into the white enderman. I ran into the water because normally endermans are damaged by water, but this enderman just walked atop of the water as if it were barriers with the texture of water. Because I moved slowly in the water, the white enderman reached and one-hit me. Unlike usual, the death screen didn't let me respawn, and I thought to myself, I'm not in hardcore mode, why is this happening? So I left the world behind and I haven't gone back to it yet, but I do plan on doing so soon. Encounters such as these really make you wonder whether or not Minecraft is actually what it says it is. Especially with mods, the horror game experience can be 100x'd. For example, the sound physics mod, originally created by Sonic, while probably being a bit too much for vanilla Minecraft, it makes caves sound like genuine caves. Every step you take reverberates off the walls, and you can hear the sound of mobs echoing throughout the tunnels. The sound of rushing water will travel through the entire cave system as well. Scary, right? But something that is even scarier is not subscribing to the channel and missing out on joining the elite group of individuals. Another thing Minecraft has been doing, which just proves my point even more, is that they've been taking down YouTube videos about the topic of Minecraft as copyright. This is why I was worried about uploading this video. But if you want to see more about Minecraft's copyright takedowns and how this could affect your videos, click the video in the top right. And if you want to find out how Dream got exposed again, click the video on the left. But if you enjoyed, make sure you comment down below on what I should make next, and be sure to subscribe.